here at Jacksonville State University. It is the Gridiron Challenge, and we've got the Haralson County Rebels. It is the Gridiron Challenge here at Jacksonville State University, Burgess Snow Field, and we've got the Rebels of Haralson County, Georgia, taking on the Abbeville Yellow Jackets. With Mickey Shadricks, I'm Chase Robinson. Game number 2 of 3 today, and we got a good one here. We saw an exciting game in the first one. Now we move here. We got Haralson County, 3A team out of Georgia, taking on 2A Abbeville.
Yeah, Chase, and just like earlier today with the first game, I think the developing story as we go here in this shortened gridiron schedule today with just 3 games is the heat. It is really getting hot down on the surface here at Burgess Snow Field, and you know, when we got started earlier today, it wasn't quite as bad, but we're up to almost the 90-degree mark, and there is just a slight breeze down on the field, which obviously helps out on a day like today. But hey, we'll take this as opposed to storms and rain and thunderstorms, which are commonplace at this time of the year in the state of Alabama. And there's a look at the breeze that's making things a little more tolerable down on the field for these young men who will be competing here today.
Good crowd on hand. Let's take a look at the rules for these spring games here. Each team will play 4 12-minute regulation quarters with no halftime. Kicking game will not be live. Teams will be allowed to kick field goals and extra points with no rushing. And on 4th down, the ball will be moved to move 35 yards down the field unless a team decides to go for it. Also, there will be 1 timeout per quarter. Teams will be given 10 minutes to warm up after the game and 2 minutes in between quarters, and the ball will change possession at the 3rd quarter. There'll be a 2-minute break there to be the halftime, and the possession will change to start the 3rd quarter. So those are the rules here for these spring games. We are getting nearing kickoff here between Haralson County and Abbeville.
Chase, just looking down at the teams warming up, it appears as though, just from a numbers perspective, that Haralson County will have a little bit of an advantage here. I think they've got more players dressed out, which obviously will be a factor on a day like today where they're playing their first organized game with very few practice opportunities in the spring, and obviously in this heat environment that we have here this afternoon in Jacksonville. Abbeville, though, I tell you, was down in the locker room earlier when they were getting dressed and speaking with some of their players. They passed the eye test at a lot of positions, so it'll be interesting to see how I think they're going to have a speed advantage, and I think Haralson County will have somewhat of a depth advantage as you simply watching the teams warming up here today.
Abbeville went to round 2 of the state playoffs in Class 2A last season, losing to St. Luke Episcopal. They finished 9-3 on the season, and Haralson County finished 2-9 over in Georgia, in Class 3A there in Georgia.
And there you see the official getting him some hydration. You know, the officials come out and do a great job with these jamboree events. They've kind of been off for a few months as well, at least in terms of officiating football. Many of them have been busy with basketball during the winter and spring sports, of course, but each sport is obviously, when you officiate change sports, it's a different animal. And so we appreciate the officials and their work and their effort coming out today in the heat. And as again, you saw the rules there, this is pretty much as close to a real game as you'll get in the spring. And you oftentimes see in these jamborees, the kicking game will not be live because that is where you could have a lot of risk of injury. Plus, you know, again, with very few practice opportunities, you know, the coaches spend a lot of their time just simply installing the offense and defense.
Right.
Don't have as much time to work on the special teams. So you kind of accomplish 2 things by not going live with the special teams, as you hope to avoid those unnecessary injuries at this time of year, and you're able to focus more on installation of your offense and defense. And a lot of teams come into spring with new coaches.
Yep.
So they're kind of not only installing new X's and O's, they're maybe installing a whole new culture, a whole new way of doing things. And that always happens when you roll around each and every spring with coaching changes at various schools across the state.
Captains get ready to meet out at midfield. And we're going to take a break and be back with kickoff. Haralson County and Abbeville is next here at the Gridiron Challenge live on TV 24.
Buster Miles Chevrolet started in 1952 in Heflin. It makes me feel great to know that my dad started something very special.
He wanted to give back where there was a need, and he never knew a day that there wasn't someone in need.
If someone broke down in a tough spot on a Sunday, he might get a call somehow, you know, from a customer saying, hey, so-and-so's broken down. He would go out of his way to help them. We didn't manufacture this reputation. We earned it over the years. It's about service and being able to trust. We feel like we offer a superior product.
We are blending the immediacy and the needs of the now with this salt of the earth, small business mindset, and just work ethic that was very simple. And it was around believing in something bigger than oneself, and that working that vision together, we could be larger than life.
Back here at Jacksonville State University, and Haralson County, as you see there, will be receiving the ball. So we are getting closer to kickoff between Abbeville and Haralson County. Gridiron Challenge game number 2 of 3 here on this day 1. We'll be back at it next Saturday with 4 games. Mickey Shaddricks, Chase Robinson with you on a warm Saturday afternoon. First game, we saw Hatley defeat Tarrant 17-13.
Well, they brought a strong contingent all the way over from Mississippi.
Yes, they did.
This morning, the chartered buses, and had a good crowd that made the trip over. A lot of support for their program here in a spring game. I'm not sure how far it is from, I think it's Amory, Mississippi, but I'm sure it was not a short drive by any distance, any stretch this morning.
Haralson County, Patrick Griffin in at quarterback for the Rebels. Griffin takes a snap and hands off to Gavin Tuck. He gained about 3 yards on the play.
And Chase will go ahead and say up front, you know, these spring games, these coaches barely have time to install things and figure out who's going to play what position. And we're lucky we just get rosters every year at this time, and we have those, so we kind of figure things out as we go as well. Sometimes the coaches are not even sure how they're going to rotate the players. They kind of wait and see how the game progresses.
Another handoff to Tuck. He'll gain about a yard there, and that will bring up 3rd and 9.
Loss of 3 yards on the play, 3rd down and 9.
If you've ever seen Ohatchee play, which a lot of folks around here have, you'll see some similarities in this Haralson County offense. Very small splits with the offensive linemen, a lot of misdirection, single wing action by Coach Peavy's team.
Tuck takes the pitch this time, and he'll gain about 5 yards and a flag on the play.
Knocked out of bounds by number 3.
Speaking of Hatley, Mississippi, we're told it was a 400-mile round trip that those folks made this morning. So to drive 200 miles, what, maybe 3 hours?
Yeah.
3 hours or so?
Probably so.
So they had to leave out early.
Yes. Got a win while they were here.
That was a good game. Tarrant didn't have much depth. They didn't have many guys dressed out today, but they've got some good players at key positions, and even the quarterback was very impressive.
Yep.
So that was a very well played game this morning between those two.
Griffin takes a snap and hands off again to Tuck.
And
I tell you, this Abbeville defense, Chase, they're quick to the football. You'll see it here. You'll see DeQuan Kinsey. Watch him come out of nowhere and just take him off his feet there. Their speed pursuit to the football is going to be difficult for Haralson County to handle here today.
4th and 16, and we'll see the punt. And again, no live kicking here. And so we will have our first opportunity to check out the Abbeville Yellow Jacket offense now.
Abbeville down around the Dothan area in Henry County. I think they're actually the county seat of Henry County. John Holder reminding me earlier today, that's the home of former Auburn basketball star Chris Porter, played at Abbeville, and also Auburn booster and athletic supporter Jimmy Rain and his lumber company based, headquartered in Abbeville, Alabama. And they also have a pretty good football team.
DeQuan Kinsey hands off to Glanton. He takes off, picks up a first down and then some. Nice start there for Abbeville's offense.
There's that speed we're talking about. We mentioned it on offense. Well, obviously we're going to see it. We mentioned it on their defense. We're obviously going to see it on their offense as well. And there you saw Glanton got up to 4th, 5th gear pretty quick.
So first down, DeQuan Kinsey, the quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, hands back to Glanton. He takes off again for another first down.
And off again to Glanton. Play picks up another Abbeville first down.
Big hole, as we'll see here, the kind of a trap with the left guard, and Glanton hitting the hole hard. Second very good run for that young man, and 2 consecutive first downs, and Abbeville threatening to score first here as they're inside the 25.
This time it is Marquise Hollins taking the handoff from Kinsey, and he is brought down, and they'll say he gained about a yard on that play.
That was good discipline by the Haralson County defense that time, because they tried to go with a little jet sweep to get Hollins to the corner, but Haralson County maintained their gap integrity. There was someone there to provide containment, and then they caught up to him and kept the game down to a yard.
High snap to Kinsey. He takes it and will pick up maybe a yard, or that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
We talked about the pursuit by this Abbeville defense. Well, you know a Scott Peavy coach team is going to get after you defensively, and that's exactly what happened that time. That snap was high. Quincy took him just about a half second to get control of it. That was enough for this Rebel defense to swarm that play and stop it for a short gain.
3rd and 8, snap to Kinsey. He goes to the air and finds Eric Truitt, and is incomplete, and that will bring up a 4th down.
Outstanding pressure that time by Haralson County as they put the heat on Kinsey, and Kinsey did a good job of maintaining his composure. The receiver was there, just dropped the football. I don't think it would have gotten enough for a first down, but it would have obviously made 4th down a lot better, because it would have been 4th and about 2. Instead, we're looking at 4th and 8.
4th and 8. Kinsey takes the snap, and he will be brought down way behind the line for a turnover on downs.
Well, we're finding out here early, Chase, that this Rebel defense can rush the passer. This is twice they've gotten after Kinsey. Isaiah Reed, number 10, is going to come through there. Also had some help from number 31, Mason Coppett, just a 9th grader. So it's Haralson County defense with a good job there on 4th down of getting after the quarterback, and the scoring threat by Abbeville comes up empty.
Griffin takes the handoff, goes back to Gavin Tuck. He takes off on the right side this time, and he'll gain a lot of yardage there and get to about the 41-yard line.
How about this Haralson County offense playing off the momentum the defense gave them on that 4th down stop? And here we see Gavin Tuck. Had a huge hole, good blocking at the point of attack by this offensive line. And that's really the best play from scrimmage so far for Haralson County.
First down They crossed the 50 for the first time today. Griffin takes the snap, and he'll take it himself, and he'll gain about 4 yards on the play. Bring up a second down.
Like the play call there. They may fake the pitch to the outside, kind of strung that defense out a little bit to the left, and the quarterback had a lead block in front of him, and Patrick Griffin, a very hard-nosed running quarterback, picking up 5 yards on the first down play.
2nd and 5. Griffin hands off to number 33, Eli Salmon, and he will pick up a first down.
Chase, this is all the offensive line on this drive. These backs are not getting touched till they get to the second, third level. Watch this. Nice misdirection. Look at the lead blocking there. He doesn't get touched till he's deep into the secondary. First down, and now here we see our first major scoring threat for Haralson County.
And there will be a offsides, I believe, be the call against Abbeville. And that will push the Rebels up 5 yards to the 8-yard line.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now you got to love that if you're Haralson County. Now you're looking at 1st and 5 inside the 10. With a chance for a first down at the 4-yard line.
Tuck with the handoff. There will be a flag on the play.
I think he scored, Chase, but I think it's coming back.
Flag on the play.
There will be holding against the offense.
That's a killer. You know, at least if you commit a defensive penalty at this point in the field, it's half the distance. If it's an offensive penalty at this place on the field, it's full yardage backwards. So instead of 1st and 5, or really instead of a touchdown, or maybe 1st and goal inside the 1, now they're looking at 1st and 12 back at what, the 15-yard line.
1st and 12. Tuck takes the handoff, goes back to the right side, and he will be knocked out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Good speed to the corner here. This is nothing but just effort here by Tuck. He gets around the corner. Chris C.J. Salisbury of Abbeville lost containment, and it cost him a gain of close to 11 yards. And they got him again, I think. Hard count, I believe Abbeville jumped. So if this is against the defense, it'll be half the distance, and it'll be 1st and goal at about the 2.5.
And that is what it will be. 1st and goal for Haralson County. Tuck lined up in the backfield next to Griffin. Griffin takes the snap, hands it to Tuck, and in he goes. Touchdown for Haralson County.
And here we see it. This is kind of what this whole drive has been about. This offensive line getting off the ball, getting on their blocks, sticking to their man, and the running backs running hard. Very impressive drive here for Haralson County.
They will line up and go for 2, and Tuck runs it in again. Haralson County takes an 8-0 lead over the Abbeville Yellow Jackets here in their 2nd offensive series.
Here's the touchdown again as Tuck kind of tucked it inside the block of the offensive tackle that time. On the 2-point conversion, he went outside the tackle, get around the corner, which they were able to do about 2 or 3 times on that drive. I'm sure the Abbeville defensive coaches will talk a lot about containment on their side of the field as they trail now 8-0.
And there are no kickoffs here, so the offense will just take over at the 35-yard line. It's our second time seeing Abbeville on offense. QB DeQuan Kinsey back in. Kinsey takes the snap, hands off to Glanton. He takes it to the right side, and he's knocked out of bounds. They'll give him a yard on that play.
I tell you, Chase, the key man on that play was Isaiah Reed of Haralson County, the left defensive end. He didn't even get a hand on the ball carrier, but when the ball was snapped, he drove his man, the young man trying to block him, he drove him 3 or 4 yards backwards. It forced the back to have to kind of retreat to get around the corner. Then the pursuit caught up to him there.
Hand off to Glanton. He'll be brought down behind the line this time by the Rebel defense.
Same guy, too, Isaiah Reed, left defensive end. This time the play went away from him, and he just ran down the line, as they say, flattened out down the line of scrimmage, and was able to tackle the ball carrier before he could get going. And they look like a little bit of a hole there, too. So 2 really good plays here on consecutive downs by Haralson County defensive end Isaiah Reed.
3rd down and 11 for the Yellow Jackets. Kinsey takes the snap. He rolls out, looks to pass. And he will go to the ground near the 40-yard line.
This is 2 really good defensive series here for Haralson County, because Abbeville, their first possession, they marched right down the field. Looked like they were going to score easily. Haralson County got after the passer a couple of times, got him in 4th down, able to force a change of possession, go down and score. And then this is a very good defensive series here that they have followed up with. So momentum definitely on the side of the, what is that, blue, red, and white uniforms for Haralson County. 4th and 5, Chase, they going for it from the 40?
4th and 5. Offense stays out for Abbeville. Kinsey takes the snap, looks to pass. And that will be incomplete. So another turnover on downs for Abbeville, and the Rebels will take the field.
It was a gutsy call, but it was there. Jaquan Kinsey, I'm sure there must be relation there, was wide open on a kind of a skinny post, and the quarterback just overshot him.
Heat timeout on the field, and we will take it with them. 8-0, Haralson County leads over the Abbeville Yellow Jackets here from JSU in the Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
At Family Health and Wellness Center in Oxford, we treat you like family.
Their appointments are always available. I never feel rushed or like I'm bothering them if I call, and Dr. Edmond is just always happy to see every patient.
It ain't like you go on some of these others, you go in there and don't know what doctor you're gonna get to see. This is the doctor when you come, this is the man you will see.
I wouldn't go anywhere else. There's nobody else I trust.
Family Health and Wellness Center in Oxford. One visit and you'll know you're a member of the family.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you know that washing your car in the driveway actually pollutes water that you and your family use?
I didn't know that.
It does. In fact, when you wash your car, the soapy water runs down your driveway, goes into the street carrying pollutants, and that often finds its way to creeks and ponds.
What can I do?
One thing you can do is take your car and wash it on your lawn, or better yet, take it to a car wash, because water there is treated by a wastewater treatment plant. Because remember, it takes a community to keep our water clean.
The Gridiron Challenge here at Jacksonville State University on TV 24. We got Haralson County leading Abbeville 8-0 here in game number 2. We want to remind you the Gridiron Challenge is brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling. Any of your air conditioning needs, it's that time of the year. Call Dunn's Heating and Cooling.
It is definitely that time of the year. Just ask these young men and coaches and officials down on the field right now. It is a hot, hot day here at JSU Stadium. And I tell you who's hot now, Chase, is Haralson County on offense and defense. They have really turned this thing around after that first Abbeville possession.
Yes. Nice pick up there by Gavin Tuck. Brings up 2nd and 4 for the Rebels. Griffin takes the snap. Back to Tuck. He'll pick up the first down this time. And let's go down onto the field with Gerhard Mathangani.
All right, guys, talked about during these heat timeouts how to mitigate the heat. here's one way Haralson County's doing it with the fan. That thing that drops temperatures down, I would say, at least a good 5 to 7 degrees down there. And this is one of those things that you see in the early parts of the season on high school stadiums. Here, Haralson County looking ahead, knowing what the temperature will be, and bringing that thing down to cool these guys down. Guys?
Thank you, Gerhard, and good thinking there by Haralson County bringing the fans with them.
I was wondering why Gerhard was standing down there by that big object. Now I know why.
Second down and
I think
7.
I think the caveman's hanging out down there by the fan
so.
also.
Griffin back to Tuck, wide open hole. He takes it, gets it down to about the 10-yard line.
I tell you, this Haralson County offense, they figured something out. They are, and I think they're just enthused to be here. I just sense that what's happening right now is Haralson County just wants this. They're really getting after Abbeville, and when you were able to get chunks of yardage offensively and kind of wear on the defense, kind of one of those deals that hurts your feelings a little bit, and Haralson County knocking on the door again, Chad, threatening to score for the second time today. And look at that second and third effort. Didn't get much yardage on the play, but it just kind of shows you how into this game these kids are for Haralson County.
That'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Rebels.
Don't they take on the, you hear the saying a team takes on the personality of his coach. You can just kind of tell this is a Scott Peavy team the way they play.
Snap to Griffin. He takes it himself. Loses his footing, but gets about 4 yards on the play down to about the 5-yard line.
That was a nice job by Abbeville's Nathan Hall, inside linebacker. He came up and took on a block and kind of filled that gap, stopped that play from going further because it looked like the running back had a chance to get that down near the goal line.
3rd down and 5 for the Rebels. Griffin takes it himself again, picks up a couple of yards on the play, and that will bring up a 4th down.
Decision time for Coach Peavy. I cannot imagine him doing anything but going for it, but
Coach Peavy, years at Madison County, then came to Oxford for 1 season as an assistant. Now the head coach at Haralson County in his 2nd season. And Tuck will take it in, and touchdown is the signal.
And he just second effort there. I believe it was Nathan Hall, the linebacker for Abbeville. I spoke of a moment ago. I believe it was Hall who had a shot at him here. Let's see, number 44. Yes, number 44 came in and hit him low, but did not wrap up. And that's not going to work against these Haralson County backs, especially Gavin Tuck, as he fights his way into the end zone.
Griffin looks to take it himself for the 2-point conversion, but is brought down, and there will be a flag on the field.
I think Marquise Hollins may have came off the line too quick. Let's see if it's an offsides call. No, a motion. Yes, it is offsides. I saw number 6, Marquise Hollins. He flew across the line of scrimmage and really disrupted that play and stopped that play, but he got a little bit too much of a quick start, and so a penalty against Abbeville.
So Haralson County will have one more opportunity here at the 2-point conversion.
Way to go, Waterboy.
Griffin looks to punch it in, trying to fight through the line there, and it will be no good. So the score will be 14-0 Haralson County with 1:57 left here in the first quarter.
Speaking of effort, nice job by the Yellow Jacket defense that time. It would have been very easy just to kind of cave there on a second attempt at the 2-point conversion, but they stiffened and held Haralson County out of the end zone on the 2-point try, so the score does remain 14-0.
And Abbeville will be back on offense, and they'll take over at the 35-yard line. Again, no live kickoffs here in these games.
We got the cowbells here.
All the fans gathered up in the red chairs right under where we are here in the shade. Kinsey hands off to Truitt this time. He'll gain about 3 yards on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down.
Abbeville kind of needs a big play, and they've got some big play guys now. I'm telling you, we saw on that first drive, they marched down the field rather easily and then wound up bogging down on a couple of pass plays inside the 20, or inside the 30, I should say. But they've got some playmakers, and I think they just need to get the ball in space to some of these guys and see if they can get a play and get some momentum back on their side.
It will be 2nd down for the Yellow Jackets. Kinsey goes to the air this time and finds C.J. Salisbury, and he'll pick up a 1st down and get to about the 49-yard line.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Get the ball out in space. Try to spread this Haralson County defense out a little bit and play to your advantage, which is team speed, and force the Haralson County defense to defend the entire field.
Been talking about Haralson County head coach Scott Peavy in his 2nd season with the Rebels.
And he's also back home, played here at JSU,
yep.
So he's very familiar with this place.
Under a minute to go here in the 1st quarter, and nice job by the Rebel defense there. Not giving up much to the Yellow Jacket offense. Second and 8 now for the Yellow Jackets. Kinsey takes the handoff. He rolls to the left, picks up the 1st down, and gets to about the 35-yard line.
And this is something that Abbeville can really hurt Haralson County with, and that is the athleticism and the dual threat capability of this young man, Daquan Kinsey. And here, little bootleg rolling out to the left. It was a one-on-one matchup, and I don't know if Haralson County has anyone on their roster that's going to be able to stand up in a one-on-one matchup with Daquan Kinsey, and that's exactly what Abbeville had on that play.
They will bring the Yellow Jackets back. Flag on the play, and that will be against the offense. So now 2nd and 12 for Abbeville's offense. Kinsey back to the air, over to Hollins, and he'll pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Nice job by the Haralson County secondary that time, coming up in support. Being able to contain Salisbury before he could get loose, because you can tell that's what Abbeville's trying to do. They're trying to spread the field and force Haralson County to defend sideline to sideline, and they had it working. That the penalty there a moment ago cost them on the big gain they had.
3rd down for the Yellow Jackets. Kinsey hands off to Nathan Hall. And he will just come up a yard short of the 1st down, and that will bring up a 4th and 4th at about 2. And that will be the end of quarter number 1. Haralson County leads it 14-0 over the Abbeville Yellow Jackets here in Game 2 of the Gridiron Challenge here from Jacksonville State University.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
the Gridiron Challenge here on TV 24, game 2 of 3 on this hot Saturday afternoon, and we have got Haralson County up 14-0 on the Abbeville Yellow Jackets as we begin quarter number 2 with Mickey Shaddricks. I'm Chase Robinson. As we look at Abbeville's head coach, Robin Tyra, leading the Yellow Jackets last season to round number 2 of the AHSAA state playoffs in Class 2A.
Big fourth down conversion, keeping the drive alive inside the Haralson County 40.
Kinsey looks to pass this time to the air, and that is caught by Jaquan Kinsey.
And that ball just kind of hung up there. First of all, Jaquan Kinsey, the quarterback, was again under pressure, able to maintain his composure. I wasn't sure who he threw it to till I saw this guy catch it. There were 2 receivers in the vicinity. Marquise Hollis was there as well as Jaquan Kinsey, but Kinsey able to haul it in before the defender could knock it down. So a big pass play. Now Abbeville's deepest penetration of the game, Chase. They're inside the 20 of Haralson County.
Blanton takes the handoff, and he will get down to about the 5-yard line. So 2 big plays there for Abbeville, gets them close to the goal line.
And we talked about want to with Haralson County earlier, and how about the want to we're seeing here by Abbeville? They needed some type of response offensively to get some points on the board. We have a flag back at the 22, which penalties have really hurt Abbeville so far in the game. Not sure who this is against. I think they're counting the number of players on the field. And if this is against Abbeville, this will be a huge penalty. Now they're going to wave it off. So good break there for Abbeville. As the play will stand, they will have it 1st and goal at the 5.
Abbeville march down the field. Now at the 5-yard line. Kinsey in the backfield. Takes the high snap. Looks to take it himself, but quickly met by the Rebel defense.
Wasted down there. The snap was high, as you mentioned, Chase, and that's the 2nd time we've seen that today. And just that little half second there gave the defense enough of an opportunity to shut down that play, and actually the play loses a yard back to the 6-yard line. Saw some high snaps in that first game as well, which is common. Again, this is a spring game, and players are getting used to a lot of things at this point in the season.
A timeout called by the Abbeville Yellow Jackets as they are getting closer to the end zone here, and we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have 2nd down for the Yellow Jackets here for the Gridiron Challenge. Burgess Snow Field, Jacksonville State University here on TV 24.
I had been on the road for more than 20 years when my son said, "Pops, it's time to invest in you." It sounds strange to take advice from your kid, but that's exactly what I did. I registered at Gadsden State and everything changed. Now my career is built around my hobby. I'm knee-deep in sawdust and my own creations, and that's where I am the happiest. My son was right. Gadsden State changed everything for me, and now it's your turn to change your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the extra crispy kernel.
Bronze and golden, new and tasty. Cut to close-up of the crispy kernel. That's the name of the sandwich, because it's extra crispy like me. Cut back to the sandwich, then cut to me. Cut close on the sandwich, cut close on me. That's too close. Thanks. Let me hear them product attributes. Get the new crispy kernel sandwich with all the fixings for just $5.
And as we come back from break, Abbeville in the end zone for a touchdown. That is Daquan Kinsey to Jaquan Kinsey to get the Yellow Jackets on the board here this afternoon.
Boy, they are really testing us today. Daquan Kinsey rolling out, sees Jaquan Quincy in the end zone, and a nice throw against his body. That's not an easy play for a quarterback to make, especially a left-hander rolling out to his right, but it does get them their first points of the game.
And Abbeville will go for 2 as Kinsey throws it at the back of the end zone, had no one there, so 14-6 will be the score as Abbeville gets on the board here this afternoon. Haralson County, though, hanging on to the lead. 10:38 left to go here in the second quarter. Mickey Shaddricks, I'm Chase Robinson with you here in game number 2 of 3 here at the Gridiron Challenge.
Chase, we're a minute and a half into the second quarter. Each team has had the ball 3 times. Haralson County had a 3-and-out, then 2 touchdown drives. Abbeville had 1 3-and-out, 1 drive deep inside Haralson County territory that was stopped on downs, and then they had the scoring drive. Very evenly matched game. 2 totally different style of teams, but a very evenly matched game so far.
So Haralson County will start off from the 35-yard line. Patrick Griffin back in at quarterback for the Rebels. He takes the snap. Hands off to Tuck. And Tuck will get across the 50-yard line to about the 49 is where they'll spot him down as he will get the first down.
He not only runs with effort, he runs with smarts too. If we have another look at this play, you'll see that Tuck has a little bit of a hesitation. Yeah, we're going to get to see it here. Watch him come around the corner. A little hesitation there. Kind of made the defender stop, and he was able to gain about 8 more yards. However, it is coming back. There was a flag on the play, and it's going against Haralson County.
And will be holding against the Rebels. Flag was way in the backfield. And so it will be about 1st and 20 for the Rebels. Griffin takes the snap, hands off to Eli Salmon.
And it's a tough spot now for Haralson County. We saw Abbeville kind of shoot themselves in the foot with a key penalty on their drive that they didn't score. Now Haralson County, they're kind of not built for this, Chase. This is 2nd down and 19, so they haven't really thrown the ball. So I don't know if they can run it 2 more times and pick up 19 yards.
Here is 2nd down. Back to the ground. As Tuck will take it, and he will go down about the 30-yard line. So they'll pick up a couple of yards there. That will bring a 3rd down and 15 now for the Rebels.
Watch Salisbury, number 9. You'll see him come into the screen right there. Good pursuit. Able to force Tuck out of bounds, creating a 3rd and 15. Haralson County going with a hard count, hoping to get an easy 5 to make it 3rd and 10, but Abbeville did not bite.
Griffin takes the snap for the Rebels and hands off to Tuck. He takes off, and he will get to around the about the 49-yard line, and that'll pick up a 1st down for the Rebels.
How about that? 3rd and 15, and you run it up the middle for the 1st down. What a huge conversion. Haralson County proving me wrong. I didn't like their chances converting after the holding penalty on a 1st and 20, but didn't throw it, Chase. They ran it, and they're got a 1st down now up near midfield.
So 1st and 10 for the Rebels from the 49. Hand off to Salmon, and he'll pick up about 4 yards on the play.
I think I have an incomplete roster here for Haralson County, but I tell you, they've got a couple of massive guys up front. Number 79, the center, number 70, I believe the right tackle. Yeah, this offensive line they're getting it done.
Griffin takes the snap, hands off to Tuck. And he will be tripped up at about the 42-yard line.
You see some of those offensive linemen. They're not just big. They attack, and you see them blocking downfield as well. They get to that 2nd level, and that's why they've had so much success running the football against this talented Abbeville defense.
This time Griffin punches it across. He'll pick up the first down.
But it wasn't really him. It was Zachary Burrell, the running back. The minute the ball was snapped, he runs right up behind Patrick Griffin and just shoves him forward for the first down. So I guess an assist goes to Zachary Burrell for Haralson County.
First down for the Rebels. They've got the 14-6 lead here. Griffin takes the snap, hands off. This time to Gavin Tuck once again. He'll be brought down to bring up a second down and 7.
Got to mention Nathan Hall again, the inside linebacker for Abbeville. He's having himself a good game today. He did a good job of penetrating, taking on his blocker in the backfield, or that play would have gone for much longer yardage than it did.
Second and 7, and a flag will be on the field.
Got big number 70, the right tackle. Was going to pull that time, and he had a long way to go, so he wanted a little bit of a head start, and the official caught him and threw the flag.
So we're looking at second down at about 14 now. Second 13 will be the spot for the Haralson County Rebels. They got themselves out of the long yardage situation last time. Let's see if the Rebels can do it again. Griffin hands off to Tuck. He takes it the right side, and he will go out at about the 32-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and about 2.
Do you get the feel that Haralson County is just kind of committed to running the football?
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter the situation. They're going to run the football. They are going to stay with what they do. And they've gotten big plays here in this game so far out of the running game.
Third and 2.
And they finally got him with the hard count that time.
That will give a first down to the Rebels. They will be at about the 27-yard line. First and 10, Griffin hands off to Tuck. He takes it the right side up the sideline, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
You know, I'd love to get Gerhard's perspective on this Haralson County offensive line. We're watching it from up here, but just look at this. They're just getting off the football and pushing that defense backwards. And again, we don't have a complete roster, so I'm not sure of the size, weights, heights, etc., but as this game moves on, I'm just extremely impressed with this Haralson County offensive line. We had a substitution issue there for Abbeville, so a player trying to get off who was injured, a player trying to get on, and I don't think he made it on the field in time.
So there is a flag on the field. That will be against Abbeville.
Against the defense.
So the Rebels will take over from the 6-yard line. Griffin takes the snap, hands off to Salmon, and he'll pick up a couple on the play there.
Kevin Mills did a nice job coming over with good speed to get to Salmon before he could get into the end zone.
6:40 left here in the second quarter. Haralson County with a 14-6 lead and knocking on the door of the end zone once again. Salmon takes it to the left side this time, and I believe they'll spot him down just short of the goal line.
I'll tell you what, this is just physical smash mouth football. You got pulling linemen, you got guys getting to the second level, and Haralson County
no doubt controlling this line of scrimmage.
And Gavin Tuck will take it in the end zone for the Rebels. His 3rd touchdown of the day.
What a day this young man's having. And all of his touchdown runs have been of this variety, from the 2.5-yard line in. And, you know, give credit again. Offensive line, the hole was there, walked across the goal line, or stumbled across, I should say. And that about to go into the air here on the 2-point try.
It was incomplete. I believe that's the first time that Haralson County has attempted any sort of pass. As we take a look at one more time at this touchdown here with Tuck taking it in to make 22-6. The Haralson County Rebels lead over Abbeville here at the Gridiron Challenge here at Jacksonville State University. We'll be right back with more here on TV 24.
I got back my Smack Talk touchdown hole-in-one 3-point home run, hat-trick pavement pounding record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up. And I certainly didn't give in. I'm gonna get back to doing what I love. I'm gonna get back to winning.
For a high-flying adventure of a lifetime, visit the new Screaming Eagle Zipline Canopy Tour and Aerial Adventure Park at Lake Guntersville State Park. Fly above and through the treetops at heights up to 250 feet on Alabama's largest high-speed zipline course. The Screaming Eagle is a safe and family-friendly adventure course that allows you to explore Lake Guntersville State Park from the point of view of the park's famous bald eagles and enjoy amazing views of Lake Guntersville. Book your aerial adventure tour today by calling 256-886-2517 or book online at LakeGuntersvilleZipline.com.
Challenge. I'm Gerhard Mathangani, joined in with Brody Sires, former Oxford Yellow Jacket. He's got a Haralson County shirt on. We'll get to that in just a minute. Brody, first off, I got to ask you, you were an Oxford High School football player, started for a bunch of years, won a lot of games. I got to ask you, watching football right now, do you miss it yet?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I'd suit up and go right now if I could, no doubt about it.
You guys were a part of 2 teams that went undefeated in the regular season. This past year had a deep run in the state playoffs. What are some of the things that you remember from your time with the Yellow Jackets?
Just family. That's like the most important thing you can get about it is family and just the bond that you have with everybody else on the team. And that's what I think the past 2 teams had, and this past team that I was on had especially. It's just a different feeling when you have that, and because you could look at us and look at other teams and definitely tell that we're not as big as them, or we may not look as good, but I tell you, we will bust some heads.
We'll get to the shirt right now because I know you're an Oxford Yellow Jacket, but you're wearing this Rebel shirt because your father is part of the coaching staff. Talk about your dad being able to be here, be with a guy that you already know, and Scott Peavy, the head coach here at Haralson County.
Well, it was funny. Coach Peavy left, and my dad started acting like a little weird about it. I was like, "Dad, you going?" He was like, "Yeah, don't let it out the bag yet." So he went, and last year I went over there and watched a few games, and I was like, "Ooh, they got it rough over here." But as of right now, they're taking it to them right now, and it's fun to watch.
Absolutely, and really your dad going to Haralson County was one of the reasons why you did what you did playing baseball. You're a multi-sport athlete at Oxford High School, played football and baseball. You chose West Georgia to play baseball in large part because of your father. Talk about your guys' relationship. He's obviously been one of your coaches. I guess also one of your best friends, and being able to help you coach you as a father and as a coach.
Most definitely. He's just a best friend. I mean, he's been there for me. He taught me the game of baseball, so I mean, it's hard not to go where that's at. So I'm only 10 minutes away, so whenever I need him, he'll be close, and I can help him. I'm already probably pitching every Wednesday for him. So I'm helping him, and he's helping me.
And he coached the outside linebackers here, and that's one of the many positions that you played at Oxford. Talk about just being able to nuance the game with him, from him coaching and from you playing, and being able to be a guy that was a high school player just a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's helping him too, because he'll come home and ask me questions, and I'll have to explain to him, and I'll coach them up a little bit, and I mean, it's always just back and forth with us. I mean, I'll ask him something, and he'll ask me something, and it's just always back and forth.
Definitely, Brody. It was fun to watch you play football, fun to watch you play baseball. We'll be keeping up with you at West Georgia playing baseball. Brody Sire, the son of Patrick Sire, also a good friend of Coach Scott Peavy and a Haralson County, Georgia fan. Guys.
Thank you, Gerhard. As we see the Abbeville Yellow Jackets on offense, first and forever. Haralson County with the interception that time. That is David Johnston.
Trying to set up a screen here against that pursuing pass rush from Haralson County, which has been so effective here in this first half. But it looked like it was set up, but there was nobody there. There's no receiver there, no one looking back for the football, and just landed in the arms of the defender. So Haralson County now with the first turnover of the game, and this is a big one because late here in the first half, they could kind of really put some distance between themselves and the Yellow Jackets.
Salmon with the handoff. They'll lose about 3 yards on the play. There is a flag on the far side. And that will be holding against the Rebels. So that will be about first and 20. For the Rebels. 4 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Griffin takes the snap and hands off to Tuck. Tuck takes it to the right side and will go out at about the 41-yard line.
That's a big play capability out of the running game again, Chase. They were at second and forever, and they get 13 yards here. Now they're in a position to convert. It's amazing how they're able to get such big plays today out of this running game.
So it will be about 2nd and 6.
And they're able to get around the edge. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought they would be able to do that against this Abbeville defense, but they're able to do that several times.
No gain on that play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 now for the Rebels. Three and a half to go here in the second quarter. Rebels take the play call from Coach Scott Peavy. Griffin takes the snap. Looks to take it himself, but met right by the Yellow Jacket defense.
It's Nathan Hall again. We called his name several times here in this first half. The inside linebacker, number 44 for the Yellow Jackets. He took on his block, gave up no ground, stuffed the play for no gain. 4th down now for Haralson County. There we see Nathan Hall. Young man's had himself a very good first half here for Abbeville.
4th and about 7. Griffin takes the handoff, looks to pass, puts it in the air. And that is Salmon making the catch. It deflected off Abbeville's defender's hand, and Salmon made the catch to pick up the 1st down.
Kind of the half it's been for Abbeville. Haralson County, this is only like the 2nd time they've thrown the ball. The defender is right there, maybe jumped a little early, maybe mistimed his jump, but good concentration by Eli Salmon. Hey, he was Johnny on the spot, able to haul in the tip pass, and it's a 1st down now for the Rebels. And another hard count and another 5-yard penalty coming up here against the Yellow Jackets. I think they're getting a little bit fatigued here, this defense, because they've been on the field a lot. These drives by Haralson County, they've been very physical. They've been very time-consuming, a lot of plays. And so it's kind of easy to lose your concentration when that quarterback's barking out that hard count over and over again.
So 1st and 5. Griffin hands off to Salmon this time, and he is brought down there by Trey Glanton for Abbeville.
All right, I want to get back to something I forgot. Gerhard, you got me down there? I know you're standing right down at about the 20-yard line. Is this offensive line for Haralson County, is it as physical looking down on the field as it is up here?
There's no doubt about it.
We'll stay up here for right now. We'll bring up a 3rd down for that will be a 1st down there for the Rebels from about the 13. Minute and a half left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Again, no halftime. It'll just be a 2-minute break, and we will be back to playing football. And Tuck will push through for a couple of yards. Bring up a 2nd and about 7. Griffin takes the snap, hands off to Tuck, and he will get 3 or 4 yards there on that play. That will bring up 3rd down now for the Rebels.
And time a factor here toward the end of the 1st half. 30 seconds left.
Griffin takes the snap, hands off to Tuck. And he will get down to about the 3-yard line, and a timeout will be called by the Haralson County Rebels with 13 seconds left here in quarter number 2. And we will remind you that the Gridiron Challenge is brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling. Check them out for any air-conditioned heating needs. I know air conditions are about to start working hard. It is hot outside, and so have any problems, give Dunn's Heating and Cooling a call.
That's a pretty neat water gadget down there Haralson County's using during the timeout. Ever seen anything like that?
I can roll that thing out there. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Roll it out there, get everybody hydrated.
Multiple guys can partake of the water there. Yeah.
And is much needed on a day like today, and it won't be quite as hot when the season rolls around in August, but it will be hot then in the first few weeks of the season. But it's reaching about 90 degrees today here, and even hotter down on the turf.
Yeah, and even though there's no halftime, this is still basically a situation where we're wrapping up the 2nd quarter, so there's 13 seconds left, and this will be a momentum thing for somebody, because if Haralson County scores, they're going to add to their lead as we hit the halftime point. If Abbeville able to hold them out of the end zone, they stay within keep the game at a 2-score spread, but Haralson County takes care of that.
Gavin Tuck back in the end zone, his 4th touchdown today. For the Rebels.
Another short touchdown run. All 4 have been from inside the 5-yard line. I tell you what, if you're scouting Haralson County, I could go ahead and tell you, you don't have to waste any time watching film. This guy's getting it inside the 5, so just good luck stopping it.
The Rebels going for the 2-point conversion. And back to, I believe that is Salmon. And that is Tuck once again. He'll take it in for 2 points there as Haralson County extends their lead here with 9 seconds to go here in quarter number 2.
But again, it's that surge from that offensive line that is so impressive here to me in this 1st half for Haralson County, because that's been the difference in the game. Is the team speed of Abbeville, them trying to spread the field, getting Haralson County to defend all parts of the field. It's been effective at times, but the main thing that has stood out in this game through 2 quarters has been the play of the Haralson County offensive line. They have literally been able to control the football game for 2 quarters with a 28-6 lead. Even when they've gotten way behind the chains with penalties or negative plays, they've still been able to overcome it with their running game. So very impressive performance here in the first half for this Haralson County offensive line.
And that is the end of the second quarter. And Haralson County all over Abbeville, 28-6 here in game number 2 of the Gridiron Challenge. There you see him, Gavin Tuck. All 4 touchdowns for the Rebels. The Kinsey brothers doing work for Abbeville, though. And we will be back in just a minute for quarter number 3 between Haralson County and Abbeville. The Rebels up 28-6. We'll have more from the Gridiron Challenge coming up from Jacksonville State University, live on TV 24.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
I'm District Judge Chris McIntyre. I hear some of the worst and most heinous felonies in our county, but I also hold trials for less serious misdemeanors. Some of these misdemeanors are disputes among friends, family, and neighbors. When one of these disputes can be settled with an apology and a handshake, I feel that justice has been served, and I'm proud to have done my job. I'm District Judge Chris McIntyre. Please vote to re-elect me on June the 5th.
It's time to get after it. So turn it on, crank it up, and let's get after it together. America's First Small Business Services.
Here at Jacksonville State University, the site of the Gridiron Challenge. We got Haralson County up 28-6 over the Abbeville Yellow Jackets. Let's go down to the field with Gerhard Mathangani.
Guys, we have talked a lot of times about what this Haralson County offensive line has been able to do. And just an anecdotal thing here. First quarter, I noticed Scott Peavy about 2 or 3 times just came over to the offensive line after the offensive possession and just laid into that offensive line about physicality. There was twice down in that first possession and then in the second possession. And he just said, guys, we got to bow up and play ball. And really, ever since that moment, this offensive line has not been the same. And we've seen these past 3 drives where they've scored touchdowns really on the backs of that O-line. And then this past time, right there during the commercial break, he just came up and hugged every single one of the offensive linemen and said, that's the way you play football. So really, guys, it's kind of a tale of 2 Scott Peavy speeches, so to speak. The offensive line has stepped up.
Yeah, this is kind of old-fashioned football. I mean, you know, there's a lot of elements to modern-day football, but it still comes down to blocking and tackling and physicality. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen here in this second half, but first half, major advantage Haralson County thanks to that offensive line.
And we'll see the Rebel defense now as Abbeville will begin quarter number 3 from the 35-yard line. Daquan Kinsey back in to lead the Yellow Jacket offense. And he goes to the air to Jaquan Kinsey.
And that's a heck of a play by Haralson County. Again, we have an incomplete roster. We apologize for that, so I don't have a name for number 2. But this is an outstanding play because Abbeville's trying to get the ball to their playmakers in space. But look at the play from the corner there. Came up and took on the challenge one-on-one and was able to get the receiver off his feet. Short gain of only a yard.
2nd and 9 now, as Truitt takes the handoff, and he will go to the ground near the 39-yard line. So that will bring up 3rd down at about 5.
This is a big play early in this game for Abbeville. I mean, this has the look of a Haralson County blowout here in the second half. But Abbeville's capable. They do have playmakers, but they need a spark. And obviously they need a score here on this first possession of the second half.
Kinsey takes the snap for the Yellow Jackets. Completes it to Eric Truitt to pick up the first down for Abbeville.
Only a 7-yard gain, but you could just kind of sense a sigh of relief from the Abbeville side because they did not want to have to give the football right back to the Haralson County offense. Now they've got a first down at their 47.
So 1st and 10 for Abbeville.
Don't think they've gone deep yet either. Of course, they really haven't. Kinsey hasn't had a lot of time. He's been under pressure, but wouldn't be surprised to see him try to go deep here eventually.
And he does there. Pass is incomplete. Hits off the hand of Jaquan Kinsey.
And I think they would have had a good chance there, but I think the ball comes out of Kinsey's hand funny because it's kind of a duck. You see the receiver has a step on the defender and still even had a chance at it as he tried to come back for the football. But a nice play by the corner there for Haralson County to defend that play with the ball just kind of hanging up there. But that's the play I've been looking for is to try to go deep. That's the first time they've really been able to try it.
That is Glanton taking the handoff and picking up the first down and then some for the Yellow Jackets.
And holding on for dear life was Damon Blankenship. If he doesn't hold on to the leg of Martavius Glanton, Glanton is going to score. Here we see right here, he's just like holding on, wrap up, get him down, help arrives. That saved a touchdown.
So 1st and 10 for Abbeville.
Oh.
High snap. It goes way back. Kinsey trying to get out of trouble, but they'll lose a lot of yards on that play.
They're going to lose 20 yards at least on this play. They had something going here, Chase, and we saw a couple of times in the first game. It's really hurt, I believe it was Tarrant. And here it just kills this Abbeville drive. They had something going, had some momentum. Now they're all the way back to their 44-yard line, so it's 2nd down, and can you count that high?
Let's see.
It's about 19 yards, isn't it?
The long ball is caught by Hollins.
And boy, did they need that. What a play. And you got to ask yourself, if you're Haralson County, how does a guy get that open on 3rd and very, very long? They roll out Kinsey, kind of buy him some time because the pressure for Haralson County has been so good, and he's there. That's a huge first down for Abbeville.
Just when they thought they were in trouble, they completed the first down. Kinsey hands off this time to Glanton, who's quickly brought down.
Glanton really couldn't get going that time. Good play by the Haralson County defense. Glanton's a good-looking athlete. Young guy, too, upcoming sophomore. I'm sure in 4-down territory for Coach Robin Tyra. Abbeville needs touchdowns, not field goals.
2nd and 9. Kinsey rolls out. Pressure coming. He lets it fly and hit off the hand of Jaquan Kinsey.
That was an interesting play design there. They rolled Kinsey out to the left, and it's almost like he had an option there, but reverse field, and then he had a guy running deep, one-on-one coverage. He could have ran that ball. I thought that's what he was going to do. He had a lot of room in front of him, and if he had it back to do again, I think Kinsey would take the higher percentage play and just keep it and run the football.
So 3rd and 9 now for the Yellow Jackets. Another high snap. Kinsey saves it though and dumps it right in the middle to Hollins, who will pick up a first down for Abbeville.
This is a great catch by Hollins. Kinsey once again feeling the pressure right up the middle, dealt with another high snap. Pass was behind Hollins, and he was really covered well that time by Bailey Hurd. That's a big play when your team really needs something good to happen. Great job, concentration by Hollins.
That was Glanton taking the handoff that time. He'll pick up maybe a yard on the play.
Here we see a holding. Abbeville chase. They've just shot themselves in the foot so many times, and they overcame a big one a moment ago. But how many times can you overcome these self-sustained wounds that keep backing you up? And Haralson County has been, I don't remember exactly how many penalties they have, but they've played a pretty well-disciplined game. They haven't had that many mistakes in the penalty area. I think they've had one holding call that I remember.
So 1st and long for the Yellow Jackets. Kinsey looks to pass, pressure coming. And they will bring him down at about the 30-yard line.
That has been the story defensively for Haralson County. When we talk about their offense, it's been their offensive line. When we talk about their defense, it's been the pressure on the quarterback when Kinsey's tried to throw. When we mentioned number 10, Isaiah Reed, a couple of times in that first half, he's had a very good game from his left defensive end position. This time they rolled Kinsey out away from him. Reed showed great speed, able to run Kinsey down from behind.
So it's 2nd and about 25. Kinsey rolls out, goes deep, incomplete, but I believe they're going to get pass interference on that call.
Yeah, that was one-on-one coverage back there, and that was a good heads-up play by Kinsey. They need too much yardage for him to run the ball there, even though he had room to run. He went ahead and took a shot and made something good happen. You see this a lot. Throw that ball up for grabs, give that defender an opportunity to interfere, and that is exactly what happens on this play. And a good call as the Haralson County DB, Caden Mullins, interfered with the receiver. So that's the big penalty that Haralson County has not committed till now in this football game.
So it will be 2nd and 10 now. That will move Yellow Jackets up to the original line of scrimmage.
Abbeville's had this football for a long time here.
Kinsey over the middle, incomplete.
Thought the defender might have gotten there early that time. That was Damon Blankenship. Let's take another look at it. It's a bang-bang play. Again, pressure. Kinsey just doesn't have any time to throw. And probably a good no call there by the official. It was close to the naked eye. Thought the defender might have gotten there a little early, but instead it's just an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10.
7:11 left here in the 3rd quarter. And Abbeville has controlled the ball this whole third quarter. Ball in the air, tipped and caught by Jaquan Kinsey for a touchdown for the Yellow Jackets.
He was not the intended receiver, but he'll take it. Again, good pressure right up the middle. Kinsey has to step outside the pocket. Had a man open, but the defender for Haralson County, again, we don't have his number, an incomplete roster. We apologize for that. But number 4 comes over, makes a good defensive play, but doesn't knock the ball down, knocks it up in the air, and it winds up as a touchdown for Abbeville.
Yellow Jackets will go for 2. High snap for Kinsey. He rolls out. And he's going to take it up the middle. There's going to be a flag on that play. So we'll see what the call is.
Everybody's leaving the field, so it must be against the offense.
Their score, Haralson County 28, Abbeville 12.
28-12, Haralson County lead here. 7:02 left here in the third quarter.
Still really haven't gotten an official call yet. Now the Abbeville offense is coming back on the field. This is against Haralson County. So I don't know why everyone just assumed this was an offensive penalty, but Abbeville will get another crack at it here.
Holding against Haralson County. The 2-point conversion failed the first time for Abbeville, but they'll take the field one more time to see if they can convert it. Get 2 more points on the board. Abbeville had the ball for around 5 minutes here starting the third quarter. Another high snap. As Kinsey will pick it up and run as far as he can get, but brought down at about the 10-yard line. So another failed 2-point conversion there for the Yellow Jackets. So it will stay 28-12 with the Rebels lead.
Well, and you know, you see these high snaps a lot. We saw it in the first game. We're seeing it here. We seem to see it every year. And, you know, you just kind of have to work through these things because, again, these teams have had very little practice opportunities. And really, we're playing here on May the 12th. So this is really early. I mean, of course, now back when many moons ago when I played, spring training was really in the spring. You know, March is when we typically did it. Now everything is moved late because of all the spring sports and the way the calendar falls. But May 12th is really early for a spring game, considering how things are done now.
So Haralson County will start at the 35-yard line. And about a 8-yard run there for Zach Burrell.
Haralson County going without a huddle.
Second down and 2 for the Rebels. And there, I believe that will be offsides. Yes, it will against Abbeville. So first down for the Rebels.
Third time today that they've gotten them with that hard count. And there's been 2 or 3 other almost.
Griffin in the backfield for the Rebels. He takes the snap, hands off to Burrell. And he will get nothing on that play.
Racavius Dozier for Abbeville. Number 2, there you see him on your screen. Nice play defensively. Play loses a yard, second down and 11. So big series here for this Abbeville defense, Chase. Their offense did the job scoring on their first possession. If they could get a stop here and get the ball back to that offense, this game could get interesting.
Second and 11 for the Rebels. Handoff once again to Burrell. Bring up a 3rd and 9.
And also, I think that'll bring up our third quarter heat timeout. Very much needed those today, the heat timeouts.
28-12. Haralson County leads Abbeville. We'll be back with more of the third quarter. You're from Jacksonville State University.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
For great food and great service and a great atmosphere, come and see us at Top of the River in Anniston. At Top of the River, all of our products are prepared fresh daily with our own special recipes, including our farm-raised, grain-fed catfish. Large groups and private groups from 50 to 250 are welcome, and reservations are accepted 7 days a week. And ask about our full on-site catering. Family-owned and operated since 1982, and always kid-friendly. Top of the River in Anniston.
Back here at Jacksonville State University as Haralson County leads 28-12 over Abbeville. As Jefferson Allen, nice run there for the Rebels.
And this is a 3rd and long. This was a big play because if they stop them here, either Haralson County would have been forced to go for it on 4th and long or maybe punt, but instead it is a huge 4th down or 3rd down conversion. Again, a big play out of the running game. Another play of close to 10 yards out of this running game for Haralson County.
Another offsides against the Abbeville Yellow Jackets.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
For Haralson County, I believe that is David Johnston in at quarterback. He takes the snap, hands off to Burrell. Burrell takes off the right side, across the 10 and down to about the 4-yard line.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of new players in the game on both sides. Haralson County, no matter who they've got in there, it looks the same, doesn't it? Just marching it right down the field.
Yes. So Johnston takes the snap. It's a high snap. Recovered in the backfield by Burrell, and he's going to take it to the left side and into the end zone.
Just the way they drew it up, huh? That's what we call high snap, touchdown left, right?
That's right.
First high snap we've seen, though, from Haralson County, but good job maintaining his composure. Zachary Burrell has picked it up and outraced everyone to the end zone.
Haralson County going for the 2-point conversion, and Burrell will take the handoff and go in. This time 36-12. Haralson County Rebels lead Abbeville here. 5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. And we want to remind you, our coverage here at the Gridiron Challenge is brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling. It's that time of the year. You will need some help. Air conditioning going out, working extra hard here in the heat. Give Dunn's Heating and Cooling a call, and we thank them for sponsoring here at the Gridiron Challenge.
And the best thing to do is have them come out and inspect your unit before you have a problem, because when you have a problem, then you may be stuck dealing with this heat for a few days. So it's always good to get them to come out early and check things out. And speaking of the heat, how's it feeling down there, Gerhard?
It got a lot cooler. We got a lot cooler, guys, and thanks in part to this thing. It's called the Cow. I've spoke with the managers here. This is Champ and Zeke. First off, you guys talk about your duties here with the Cow.
After every turn, we have the ball and defense. We pull it out there and we give the players water.
And it's called a Cow for reasons that I'll let you infer for yourself. But Zeke, you talked about how this thing is one of the things that keeps the players cool, and it's the most efficient way to get a lot of people hydrated at the same time. Talk about the refilling and the filling process and the way that it works for you guys as you deal with this heat.
Well, it takes a while to put the ice back in, put the water back in, but it does hydrate many of our players at the same time, and we still use these squirt bottles as usual, and that's pretty much what I gotta say.
That's good stuff. And I know that you guys got to get back to the defense and let your defense let your offense hydrate after scoring that touchdown. Thank you very much, guys. I know this thing is really heavy. Thanks for wheeling it all the way over here. This is Champ and Zeke, managers with the Haralson County football team, guys.
Thank you, Gerhard, and they got a lot of work to do down there with the cow.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it. I do get it. Yeah.
Gerhard got it too, squirting the cow. That's probably as close to milking a cow as Gerhard Mathangani's ever going to get.
3:43 left here in this third quarter. Abbeville on offense there. See the players down on their sidelines taking full advantage of the cow down there. First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Toss to Caleb Gulford. He'll gain about a yard on the play.
I've been around sports a long time. We cover a lot of sports with TV24. Have I missed something? I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either.
I'm sure we've seen those and we just didn't dawn on us till today, but that's a neat gadget to have on the sideline on a hot day. The cow learned something today.
Yeah. Ball on the ground. Looks like Haralson County will have it. And they will. So fumble for Abbeville. Will hand the ball back to the Rebels. 2:35 left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, this kind of ball hit the ground a lot on that drive. I kind of could see this coming. And again, some new players in the game getting some experience here. Got to protect that football. That'll be something the coaches will point out when film review occurs when they get back to their respective schools.
Rebels back on offense. Johnston hands off to Burrell. And we'll get back to the line of scrimmage. We got another football game coming up for you after this one. Sumter Central will take on Boaz here following this game. We have 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. We'll have our fourth quarter, and then we'll take about a 10-minute break and be back. And Sumter Central taking on Boaz. Third game and final game of this first day of the Gridiron Challenge. And there goes number 21, Jefferson Allen. He'll take it about 52 yards to the end zone.
Nice job here of execution. Good blocking, as we've talked about all day at the point of attack. And again, it doesn't really matter who's in the game for Haralson County. They all are singing from the same sheet of music. Very good job of executing here this afternoon for Coach Peavy's team from just down the road in Tallapoosa, Georgia.
It will be a false start on the two-point conversion there. So they'll push it back out to about the 10-yard line. Will be spotted at the 8. Johnston will take the snap. He rolls out this time to the air, and it is good to number 19. It's not on our roster here, but caught the ball for the two-point conversion to make it 44-12. Rebel lead here, minute 40 left in the third quarter.
Don't know his name, but we do know he was wide open. Nobody near the receiver for Haralson County on that play. 44 points put on the scoreboard here for Coach Scott Peavy's team, which is amazing considering that they've only thrown, what, 3 times?
Yep.
And they're don't have any official stats here at the Gridiron Challenge, but their rushing yardage today, I would say they have to be well over 300 or 400 yards in rushing today.
So Abbeville will take back over on offense from the 35-yard line. And we have Chris Williams in at quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. No gain on that play. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Of course, we're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. I think the big question now, well, how will the coaches treat the 4th quarter? In the first game, the coaches elected to use a running clock. And we will see how these coaches, Coach Peavy and Coach Tyra, elect to play the 4th quarter.
Williams hands off to Randy Glanton. And we'll pick up about 8 yards on that play. So we are under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter now.
My guess would be, because of the timing, we're already past 2:30, and with the fact that so many young players have gotten in the game here in the 3rd quarter, I would be surprised if they were not on a running clock in the 4th quarter.
Chris Williams takes the handoff and he hands it to Eric Truitt. Truitt will pick up the 1st down and get to about the 50-yard line.
Run by number 10, Truitt.
Clock will keep on ticking. 15 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
First down, Yellow Jackets.
And that will do it for quarter number 3. Haralson County leads it 44-12 over the Abbeville Yellow Jackets at the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with the 4th and final quarter here. It's the Gridiron Challenge from Jacksonville State University.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
It's time to get after it. So turn it on, crank it up, and let's get after it together. America's First Small Business Services.
Back here at the Gridiron Challenge as we begin the 4th and final quarter here. Haralson County leads it 44-12. They'll run the clock here in the 4th quarter. Mickey Shatterks, Chase Robinson here with you at Jacksonville State University. And speaking of the Gamecocks softball team just got a 3-peat in the OVC as they won the OVC softball championship moments ago, 9-1. They did that in 5 innings against the number 1 seed in the OVC, Eastern Kentucky. So congrats to Coach Jana McGinnis and the JSU softball team on winning their 3rd straight conference championship.
Getting it done down at the brand sparkling new incredible Chakalaka Park in the city of Oxford. And not only are we running the clock here, but we only put 10 minutes on the clock, so this will be a quick finish to this game. Then you mentioned Boaz and Sumter Central, and By the way, everyone around here knows the name Shannon Felder, a longtime Donahoe coach, and then also was the offensive coordinator for the Anniston Bulldogs for a couple of seasons. He is now into his second season as head coach at Sumter Central. So he is in the house today. Good to see Coach Felder back in town and get a look at his football team here this afternoon against Boaz.
Chris Williams takes the handoff and pitches it to Truitt. And Truitt will be brought down about the line of scrimmage there to bring up a 3rd down and 10. Next Saturday, we'll have 4 more football games for you here from the Gridiron Challenge here at JSU. Start the day off with Cleburne County and Good Hope. Truitt pick up about 3 yards on that play.
He's brought down by number 25.
Also next Saturday, we'll see Central Clay County. We'll also see Ray County from Tennessee. We've seen them the last couple of years here at the Gridiron Challenge. We'll see Gardendale, Lawrence County, Montgomery Catholic, and Callaway. It'll be 4th down and about 6 for Abbeville. Williams takes the handoff, pitches it back to Truitt, ball loose, and I believe Haralson County will end up with the football, and they will. Would have been a turnover on downs anyway, so the Rebels back on offense, and they lead it 44-12. Six and a half left here in this one. A running 10-minute clock here in the 4th quarter. As Johnston, that ball is loose and Abbeville lands on top of it. So the Yellow Jackets will take back over on offense.
Sloppy play here late in this one. Both teams having trouble executing a handoff. So Abbeville's offense will come right back on the field now.
Abbeville will now have the football at midfield. Reminder coming up next, our final game of the afternoon.
After this game, of course, Gerhard Mathangani will be chatting with both head coaches, Coach Robin Tyra of Abbeville and Scott Peavy of Haralson County. Then we'll have Sumter Central and Boaz to cap it off for today.
And someone's called a timeout. I think Haralson County called timeout. Only had 10 players on defense, so there comes player number 11.
Get Abbeville back on the field to continue play here. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Williams hands off to Blanton, and he'll be brought down behind the line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Handoff, number 12, Blanton. Tackles made by number 43, Riley Bell.
I'm hearing we're in for a very hot summer in Alabama this year, Chase, and if today is any indication, I can see it coming.
Went from a cold winter to really skipping spring, and we got the summer weather already here in mid-May. We've had Gridiron Challenges here before when it's been hot, but today may be the hottest one we've had.
Right at 90 degrees, but got a little breeze. It's helped out some. A lot of the fans in the stands with umbrellas out, and they don't have them out for rain, that's for sure.
We've also had some very cold and rainy spring football games here in the past as well. Pitch that time to Caleb Guilford. He takes off, and he will be brought down at about the 1-yard line. So Abbeville knocking on the door of the end zone here with 3:45 left.
Picks up the first down.
Nice cut there by Guilford. Good job breaking a attempted tackle there, and it was a foot race, but the Haralson County defender had the angle. That was number 40, Charles Smith, and was able to cut him off and get him out of bounds just short of the 2-yard line to save a touchdown.
Tackle on the previous play made by Charles Smith.
Williams to Glanton, who will take it in for a touchdown for the Yellow Jackets.
Number 12, Glanton, touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
And here we see Gerhard Mathangani now is manning the sideline camera. Caveman, our longtime sideline camera guy, is cramping up in the hand there. I think that's what we're looking at.
Yes.
Yeah, got some. I hear pickle juice is good, Caveman. What do you? Is that what he's drinking? Okay. Nothing like a shot of Caveman drinking pickle juice on live TV. Does it get any better than that?
I'm telling you. Working hard down on the sideline as always, and Gerhard Mathani's down there working the camera.
I don't think I've ever seen Caveman's hand cramp up. So we've seen that. We've been introduced to the cow today, and we've seen Caveman's hand cramp up. So that's 2 new things we've experienced here at the Gridiron Challenge this afternoon. We've been talking about how hot it is now.
Yep.
Guys, I'll tell you, it's probably about 100 degrees down here, and evidence one of hydration is our Caveman, Tony Caveman. He's been doing this for 25 years, and his hand cramped up. So one of the offensive linemen overheard our conversation, hooked him up with some pickle juice. So as Caveman is hydrating and getting these cramps out, it just speaks to the heat down here. Muscles cramp up at a heartbeat. Hydration is key.
Well, hopefully we can get that hand back in working order for the final game. See how quick the pickle juice does the trick.
That is Burrell taking the direct snap, and he'll take it, pick up a first down for the Rebels and then some. And he will take it all the way to the end zone. He will take that about 65 yards, but there is a flag on the play. Under a minute to go here in this one. 44-20 is Haralson County's lead. There's a flag on that run there by Burrell.
You know, something tells me if the treatment that the Caveman's doing down there doesn't work, we're going to kind of be in a pickle for this last game.
Yeah, we will. Have to leave Gerhard down on the field.
I think when you said that, Gerhard went and got more pickle juice.
Eight seconds and ticking here.
This game's almost over, Chase. 3 seconds left.
And that will do it. Haralson County will win it 44-20. Over Abbeville here.
And they got a good contingent of fans that made the trip over from Tallapoosa, cheering on their team for their performance here today. And want to congratulate both teams for coming out. Again, there's very little preparation time. I always admire teams that are willing to play a spring game. Some teams around here won't even play a spring game because there's just not enough time to prepare. But to come out here and play a game, not only play a game, but play a quality opponent in a venue such as this on live TV. I always like to congratulate both teams for coming out and playing. And there's a look at some of the Haralson County fans that made the trip over to JSU Stadium today.
Yeah, nice crowd, and they've all kicked back into the red chairs up here in the shade right under us, and yeah, good crowd on hand today. Come out and braving the heat.
Yeah, I was here for graduation last Friday, about a 3-hour graduation here at JSU Stadium. Of course, they had one big ceremony here as opposed to shorter ceremonies inside Pete Matthews Coliseum that was damaged from the tornado a few weeks ago. So, but fortunately, it wasn't as hot last week as it is today. But it was still hot.
Yes.
Especially for those students in those black robes and those faculty in those black robes. They were definitely passing out some water by the 3rd hour of that ceremony.
And we are looking to get head coaches down on the field. And let's go down to Gerhard Mathangani, standing by with both head coaches.
All right, guys, we're down here with both Coach Tyra and Coach Peavy. We'll start with you, Coach Tyra. First off, talk about the way the spring went, and what are some of the things and some of the takeaways you had from this game?
That's what I was just talking with my guys on the sideline. Just kind of where we want to be, where we're at right now, what we take away from the day, takeaways from the days. You know, Coach Peavy, they do something that one of our teams in our region, you know, that we've just got to learn to stop that kind of thing. That's one of our area games. So getting to see that early, getting an opportunity to, you know, kind of figure out this is what we got to beat, physical type team. That's what, you know, that's one big takeaway from me. Offensively, just trying to take away and clean up a lot of things that we're going to do. A lot of stuff we saw done today. We kind of stripped down a lot of things and trying to get everybody into a flow. So great experience for us. You know, great opportunity for our guys to come out here today and participate in this. So, you know, going away from the day, biggest thing for me. The other big thing is, you know, no injuries. You know, coming out of spring right now with, you know, nothing major, being able to come back and next few weeks go hit the weight room and, you know, get conditioning and then start drilling everything. So, you know, that's really the biggest thing for me to kind of take away from this today.
Absolutely. And what was the situation like with your guys being able to travel? You travel from a long way to come here and then come play a football game here in this venue at this stadium and against an opponent like Haralson County?
Yeah, I still think it's a little bit, you know, they're still kind of in awe a little bit because, you know, we're just a little country town boys. You know, a lot of my guys don't get out as much. You know, about weekend before last, me and my wife was over at Talladega, so it wasn't that different for us. But for a lot of our guys, you know, we got a chance to come up and do something different. So, you know, a little bit of a travel, but, you know, shouldn't affect us. You know, as far as competing. But, you know, I think it's still, you know, some of them get a little bit bright-eyed right now. But it was, like I said, great experience, and I'm glad we were able to participate in it and see our guys come out and be in this venue.
Very good showing, Coach. We'll keep up with you down the road.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
If I can help down the road any way, yes, sir. Same to you.
Great sportsmanship right there. We'll turn over to Coach Peavy. First off, Coach, judging by the scoreboard, you guys really executed really well. Talk about some of the things you took away from this competition.
Well, you know, we played a really good football team, and that guy does a really good job. And, you know, we just kind of benefited from a few turnovers, you know, and that's to be expected at this time of year. So we were on the good end of that a few times today. So, but it was great. You know, our kids, we learned a new offense, and I think that was a great way for our kids to buy in, believe in what we're doing. And our kids have worked really, really hard. And I'm just excited for them because we hadn't had a lot of success. So for them to come out here and enjoy themselves, and I can hear them yelling over there, I'm excited for them.
One of the things that I noticed was, I think it was the first quarter, maybe third possession, you went to your offensive lineman and you laid into them about being physical, and then they really turned it up the next about 3 or 4 possessions, were able to punch the ball into the end zone. Talk about your offense and the way you played from a physical standpoint.
Well, you know, that's the thing we can control. And, you know, some of the things we can't control that we don't have 4 or 5 guys. Well, we can control being physical, and we can control how strong we are, and we can control how hard we play. And if I'm going to get on about the things we can control. And so, you know, we have a really, really good running back that if our guys will rally around him, we'll have some real success because he's a fantastic football player in Traylon Shepard.
You spent some time in Alabama coaching different schools. Oxford, one of your latest schools, now in Georgia. What are some of the differences that you've seen from Georgia schools as compared to Alabama?
Well, you know, we play in a really good region over there. Our state champion came from our region, and we did. You know, with our kids here, we just got to get something we can believe in. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be at some really good programs, and you know, I think it all started in the weight room, and then get kids believing in that, and believing you putting the sweat in the bucket, and that's what we've been doing. So I just hope that we can continue on that success, and these kids are unbelievable. So I just pray that they get to enjoy some success because they deserve it. They work really hard.
Final question before I get you out of here. What was it like being able to come, across the state line, come to this venue, a place that you know well, a place where you played, and come here and play a team like Abbeville in this stadium, in this venue, and the entire experience of today being back in Jacksonville?
Well, it was awesome. Me and Coach Edwards both played here. We both won a national championship here, and I told our kids I was fortunate enough to play when we played for 3 of them, and this was an unbelievable place, a place that's special in my heart, and that's why when they, we had an opportunity to play here, I jumped on it in a minute. I just thought how cool it would be, and then for us to get a win, it's even bigger.
Coach, continued success. We'll keep up with you along the way. Coach Peavy from Haralson County, Georgia. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Gerhard. 44-20, Haralson County gets the win over Abbeville. In game number 2 of 3 here from Jacksonville State University in the Gridiron Challenge. When we come back, Sumter Central takes on Boaz. Carl Brady, John Holder will be along for the call. Next, it's the Gridiron Challenge live on TV 24.
Ladies and gentlemen, the extra crispy kernel.
Bronze and golden, new and tasty. Cut to close-up of the crispy kernel. That's the name of the sandwich, because it's extra crispy like me. Cut back to the sandwich, then cut to me. Cut close on the sandwich, cut close on me. That's too close. Thanks. Let me hear them product attributes. Get the new crispy kernel sandwich with all the fixings for just $5.
Butler residents? Everything that gets into our storm drains, soap, pesticides, pet waste, whatever, makes its way straight to our streams and into where you swim, what you drink, and where you fish. Stormwater runoff is our biggest source of water pollution. You're the solution now that you know where it goes. Y'all have a nice day.
I had been on the road for more than 20 years when my son said, "Pops, it's time to invest in you." It sounds strange to take advice from your kid, but that's exactly what I did. I registered at Gadsden State and everything changed. Now my career is built around my hobby. I'm knee-deep in sawdust and my own creations, and that's where I am the happiest. My son was right. Gadsden State changed everything for me, and now it's your turn to change your life.
I am Marilyn Hudson, a Christian grandmother, mother, and wife. When folks find themselves in family court, they are at a low point in their lives, overwhelmed by all the courtroom drama. I may not be politically correct, but I feel that sometimes instead of turning to the lawyers, some families would be better off turning to Christian counseling. As a judge, I will do everything in my power to help families. Please elect me, Marilyn Hudson, as your family court district judge.